we play games without the fans?
Yeah.
No, it's impossible. I ain't playing. If I ain't got the fans in the crowd, that's what I play for. I play for my teammates, I play for the fans. That's what it's all about. So if I show up to an arena and ain't no fans in there, I ain't playing. So they can do what they want to do.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it. I ain't never played the game without no fans.
Again, that was after Friday night's win over Milwaukee. Jay Williams, what'd you think of that?
First off, I want to preface my comment by saying I love the way LeBron James thinks and I love the way he leads. I think in this particular case, I thought it was a little bit irresponsible of him to say, I'm just not going to play if the fans aren't going to be there. And I know sometimes this can catch players off guard if you ask them that kind of serious question after a game. But I thought the right way he should have answered that is by saying, let's do more due diligence. Let's find out more information about this virus first, or what the league's policy is, and let's work together to make sure everybody's safety is actually in measure.
We have seen him historically in moments like this where maybe he was not prepared for the question, because if you watched his face and his body language, he was shocked. So clearly he hadn't seen the memo that the teams had received. Normally in this instance, he will take a breath and say, you know what, I don't know enough about this. And that's the direction I was surprised he didn't go in.
Yeah, I think the thought that I had, and you and I talked about this a little bit before the show, and I'm not trying to excuse anything or anyone, is that right after a game, I used to be a reporter, and I would go into these locker rooms after these games, and Doris, obviously, that's one of the things that you do regularly, is, the players are very focused on the things that just happened. And I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just trying to put into context the fact they just won a huge game. He just went ahead with Giannis. He's obviously feeling great. You get this kind of question in there. I'm not suggesting it was the right answer. It obviously isn't the right answer. But I don't know. Give him a pass might be too strong a word. I think it is important to put that into the context.
I completely understand. But I can combat that and say, from the time I've been 17 years old, going to college, or LeBron James playing for the Cavs or playing for Miami, there are ways that you can revert back to things that you can position yourself to get out of any comment, right? It's just, hey, I don't feel comfortable commenting on that yet. No comment, or let me do some more research. Let me talk to the league. I think there are different ways that you can approach that by them trying to just say, hey, I'm not going to play in any game.
I just think we put these players and coaches in situations where 3 and 4 and 5 times a day, they're asked to speak on something. And I'm going to tell you this, I've misspoke. And I want to give him a pass as well, because I could just tell by his face he was completely shocked. And his natural instinct, and this doesn't have anything to do with load management, but his natural instinct is to play the game he loves at a high level for himself, for his teammates, and make no mistake, for the fans.
Yeah, and again, we all hope it doesn't come to that, obviously, but it does not seem at this point beyond the realm of possibility that some of these games in some sports in this country will wind up being played without any spectators in the seats. We will see. Okay, more on this as we go. Laura, to the NFL. On this Monday from New York, welcome to Get Up, presented by Wendy's. And once again, everyone is all abuzz because Doris Burke is CB.
Yes.
Tons of football coming today. Adam Schefter sent a note that said this will be the most significant 2 weeks of the NFL offseason by far, and we will get to that. But speaking of a significant little stretch, how about the weekend that LeBron and the Lakers put together Friday night against the Bucks, and then yesterday in a road game, if you will, against the Clippers? And you know what I loved about this game, Jay Will? LeBron and Kawhi going head-to-head so much.
This is what everybody wanted to see. The two best players essentially in the world guarding each other both offensively and defensively.
And Doris, they were both ready for the challenge.
Well, you got LeBron caught peeking, and you're so concerned now because Kawhi's so much better of a passer. Well, he dunked it on your head because you're concerned about what's next.
Clippers were up 4 at halftime. Oh, and there's Kawhi again driving around him. Kawhi would score 27 on the day, so he was ready. Let's go to the fourth quarter because this was a good game. LeBron did not attempt a field goal in the third, but then he heats up.
Well, he kept getting the matchup he wanted. He would involve any player in a Clipper uniform in a pick and roll, but get the matchup and then attack that matchup.
And how about this move, Doris?
Well, 6 of 8 times they get baskets off of his pick and roll action. He is still physically dominant. And again, you're anticipating a screen, and that opens the right-hand drive, and look out when LeBron's at the cup.
Lakers up 10 after the made free throw there. Then LeBron takes a little rest, and this was a big shot by AD.
Listen, when LeBron's off the floor, AD has got to be dominant. Yes, sir. Kiss that hand because you were rolling, my man.
And watch AD. How about him down low here, Jay?
Well, how about 5 players in a blue uniform are staring at LeBron James? There's actually poor weak side management of spacing, but AD gets a dunk.
He would score 30 on the day. Less than a minute left now. The Lakers are up 9. Say goodnight, Marcus Morris. He had a tough day.
Yeah, take a video of that. I would have taken a video of that too.
LeBron James, 28 points, 7 boards, 9 assists, and capping off what was really a sensational weekend with fans, again, theoretically, in a road game, chanting his name as MVP, and his teammate Kyle Kuzma doing what all the rest of us did. Crown that man on the sideline. What a win for the Lakers.
It's a really good weekend for us. Playing against two of the best teams. The top 2 teams in the league, including with us, as far as record-wise. But no matter what was going on throughout the course of the game, we just held our composure. We continued to get stops. We continued to execute, and the rest is history.
Hey, we know the type of team that we are. If we don't do things that to beat ourselves, then we feel like we can beat anybody, and we're a tough team to beat.
So, Laura, we were here Friday, and the very last conversation we had, we asked Richard Jefferson, with the Lakers going into these big games, Friday night against the Bucks, Sunday against the Clippers, what will their record be? And he said they would do well to come out of it 1-1. With wins in both, Doris, what do we say of the Lakers this morning?
Well, they're the favorite to win the title. And I think the most impressive thing I saw was that in the final 5 minutes of the game, of both games, LeBron James was willing to guard both Giannis and Kawhi Leonard. He was willing to absorb the physical challenge of both of those things. And Jay will. The final 13 points, LeBron James had a hand in against the Clippers. He was absolutely dominant. They didn't have a physical matchup for him.
I think this weekend was a demonstrative statement for LeBron and the Lakers. Obviously, with LeBron guarding, Giannis took on that challenge. And then I think this game meant a lot more to the Lakers than it did to the Clippers. It seemed like the Lakers have way more sense of urgency. They wanted to show that they can compete at a very high level when the Clippers already had 2 wins against the Lakers.
We keep talking about a home atmosphere for the Clippers, but really it favors the Lakers. As you project to maybe what you would see in the playoffs, how much does that factor in? Just a little preview of what we've already seen.
Well, a 7-game series in that building will be a Laker home 7-game series. There's no question about it. And listen, I thought a couple of things. Number one, the Lakers did not play at their peak in either of those 2 games. They were under 30% from three-point territory. So let's make no mistake, there are things for them to build on, but there's another level or 2 for that team to get to.
And I also question the Lakers still, their bench scoring. They only had 6 bench points in the first half. Avery Bradley stepped up massively in this game with 24 points. Dion Waiters, I think, could help that. But you always felt like the Clippers were in the game, and you wonder how many times will Lou Will go 3 for 12, or also Marcus Morris, who averages 19 points per game, only had 1 point.
Lou Williams is an interesting person in this because if you watched what happened down the stretch of the game, LeBron James manipulated the chess pieces until he got the matchup with Lou Williams, and eventually you take him out of the game and you put Patrick Beverley in. The Clippers have more scoring than the Lakers, as you said, notable to the bench and their starters. But when you can play one of those scorers off the floor, you close that gap.
So about 40 minutes ago, Jay and I were on SportsCenter, and he made the observation that they asked a lot of LeBron yesterday. He played that game like it was a finals game, and they're running all these bodies at him. Is it realistic that he can do that for 7 games over the course of a 7-game series, carry that much of the load?
I don't think there's any doubt that he can do it. And listen, a week ago Sunday, I said the narrative that this gap between LeBron and Giannis was insurmountable for the MVP race was inaccurate. There are 20 games left for the Lakers, 18 left for Giannis. I don't have to put pen to paper. I said it on SportsCenter this morning. At this point, I'd still go Giannis. He may set the single best PER in history. He's been dominant. He could win Defensive Player of the Year. But I don't have to make that choice yet. And the gap is much closer than we think. So let's stop closing the door on this MVP race. And Milwaukee people are going to be all fired up. You're out of your mind. No, I'm not. Charles Barkley, I'm not out of my mind. I'm not crazy.
Doris, coming into the weekend, I thought that, Giannis had an actual lead, but after just watching the way that LeBron took on the challenge of guarding Giannis, I know it's a lot for just 2 games, but it's like everybody says that Giannis is taking the torch away. No, I feel like the torch is on layaway for Giannis. Like he's still making payments towards the torch of being the greatest. LeBron James came out and made a statement about, I still am the greatest to play in the game.
Here's the thing that I went into that Milwaukee game thinking. What will the Lakers do defensively? They played their hand in that matchup. Giannis has spent the entire season bullying people, mean mugging, dunking on your head, sending things into the 10th row. Guess what? Anthony Davis and LeBron James went right at him physically and said, you will pay a price to play us, and we're coming at you. Like, that was a message.
Is LeBron playing his best basketball that he's ever played in year 17 of his career?
Well, here's the thing that's amazing about it. You didn't see him take possessions off. So many times in NBA games, you see great players, all right, I can catch a breath.